Well, you won't believe what your local government will do for you to help you start a business. They want you to start a business. Now watch this interview. You'll see how this local community, I mean, what they did is like change the tax structure so that if you start a business, you won't pay any taxes. That's great. And then you know what else they've done? They go to the banks and they say, hey, if you lend a small business money or any kind of business money, all the interest you earn from that customer, you don't have to pay taxes on. So what they're doing is incentivizing everybody to give loans better to business, to get businesses to grow, and then plus if you put your business in certain areas of a city or state or whatever, they have not only no taxes, but they'll give you money to hire people. Yeah, and and then there's special consultants that they have in your state and local governments or whatever to help you through the whole process. So you don't have to hire some fat cat that consultant who an MBA from Harvard to figure out all this stuff. No, the government pays people to take your hand, go through the process, help you with the licensing, help you with the financing, help you with the planning, help you with the job training, get you grants to train yourself or your employees, to start a business with them. See, they want you, because if you start a business where you're hiring 1 employee, 5 employees, or 500, man, you're creating opportunities in that area. And that's how these governments stay in business. They got to create tax money. So if you're generating sales, you're generating tax money, aren't you? And then they get the tax money to live. So their motive, you're their customer. You starting a business is the government's customer because they want to take care of you. Because if you start a business and start employing people, then they get more tax money, right? And the community could grow, everybody could grow. And see, it all starts with you. It doesn't start with the government. It starts with you doing this. So that's why watch this video and see how you could take advantage of these things too and get the help that's out there for free. So watch. Okay, and your name?
My name is Mike Paredes.
Mike Paredes?
Mike Paredes, Vice President for Business Development for Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation.
Okay, so that's in Southern California, way down on the tip. And you explain, right. Whereabouts is that again?
It's the most southeastern county in the state of California, which borders Arizona and Baja California to the south.
Wow, so you're right in Baja California.
We're just north of it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you are?
Yeah, and my name is Daniel Fitzgerald, and I manage the Lesko Imperial County Enterprise Zone.
Oh, enterprise zone.
Yes.
Well, I've heard a lot about. So the county is the county that's there. Right. And what are the benefits of being in an enterprise zone?
Well, the California Enterprise Zone program is specifically designed for economically disadvantaged areas, and it has a lot of very significant tax credits to be able to basically counteract the California's income taxes.
So in other words, if I want to start a business or move my business to your enterprise zone, it's a lot cheaper than putting it anywhere else in California that doesn't have an enterprise zone.
Precisely. Yeah, really? I mean, we can significantly lower the California tax burdens, in a lot of cases wipe them out.
And even wipe. I mean, I hear so many people complaining about California is overtaxed and everything. So if they know where to go in California,
right, that's what's important. Right, that's what's important. In Imperial County, we have two enterprise zones. There's 42 of them throughout the state, all in economically disadvantaged areas. But it's an excellent opportunity for small businesses to start up. There's also a lot of financing options as well.
Really? Well, what kind of thing? I mean, give me some examples, maybe.
Well, for the main thing is there's a hiring tax credit. So for each employee you have, you're going to be able to get a percentage of the wages you're paying them back as a tax credit.
Wow.
And then the other one in terms of financing is lenders are incentivized to lend to businesses in an enterprise zone because the interest you pay them, less their administrative costs, are tax-free for them.
You mean if a bank lends me money, I start my business in your enterprise zone, a bank lends me money, they get a tax break on the interest they're charging me? Is that it?
Exactly.
Wow.
To incentivize them to lend to businesses. Money. Yes.
So it's easier to get a bank loan if I start my business in your enterprise zone.
Yes.
That's
short.
Terrific. Yeah. And what kind of help do you, like, say, hey, I'm thinking about moving my business there or starting a business there. Well, what kind of other help besides just money can you help them with?
Well, one of the advantages of starting up a business in Imperial Valley is obviously a close-knit community. We have various municipalities throughout the region that are able to take a very local approach to small to medium-sized business, as well as the larger corporations as well, the benefit of being neighbors to Baja California, Mexicali, which is the capital city of Baja California, with over 1 million people there.
Wow. How far are you from that million?
Oh, we can throw a rock in. It's
really
there.
Yeah, my office is 3 blocks from the border.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
there's 1 million people living just right across the border.
And that's a big advantage because there is a there's a workforce there that
I see.
that is community, a very commuter type of workforce that crosses the border every day to work in Imperial Valley, and vice versa. There's a lot of the twin plant operations that exist both in Imperial and Mexicali that is a hardly benefit to the larger corporations that take advantage of the lower cost of labor down in Mexico, but also take advantage of establishing themselves in California.
Right. So in other words, by setting up a business in your city or location, that workers from Mexico just come over every day and work?
Yeah, they have special working permits
really?
as well.
So I guess pretty common there.
Huh? It's very common.
See, people up north can't imagine that.
yeah. That's one of the that's what we call the the local or regional economies that exist there.
Wow.
That people in Washington, sometimes it's very difficult to understand if you're not living in that area. That thousands of people across the border, obviously legally every day, with special permits to work, not only in the ag fields but also with the manufacturing sector in different areas.
So if you have a manufacturer, you want to make solar wind turbines or something like down there, that the workforce really right across the border are available through permits and be able to do that.
Most definitely. Obviously, we would like the majority of those jobs to be in Imperial Valley, and there is a great opportunity, lower cost of doing business, lower water rates, energy rates. Land cost is substantially different than, much lesser than San Diego, LA, Orange County areas, and we are just a neighboring county. So, you drive half hour, you're already in San Diego County.
Oh, really? You're a half hour from San Diego? That's it?
Well, no, we're an hour and a half away. Yeah,
I see. Right. Details. Well, if somebody's, how do you approach you guys, or what do? You just call up and say, "Hey, I want to start a business there"? Is that what you?
Well, it can be that simple. Obviously, we're here at this trade show to be able to attract some additional investment to our area, really be able to promote what the opportunities are. Then, once somebody is interested in taking a further look at our area, we're available to be able to provide additional information, demographic information, land information, sites. Be able to even assist with the site selection process, be able to work with the local workforce development board, in terms of being able, if there's any job training programs that are available for your business. And so really we're able to be kind of your point person to be able to introduce you to all the other aspects of the community that you need to do to be able to set up a business. Everything from planning and development to business licensing to financing to job training, etc.
Wow. So in other words, if I'm thinking about starting a business, and I could call you guys, and it's like, instead of hiring some management consultant's going to charge you tens of thousands of dollars.
That is correct.
You guys do this for free.
Correct.
And you're the guys giving out the money too.
Well, we're promoting the different incentives that are out there. And that's the thing is what we are is we're aware where there's different types of things.
Exactly.
Particularly in our area right now, there's a lot of opportunity for job training, in particular in the renewable energy sector. Right now there's multiple programs going on.
Like what?
For example, there's training going on right now for installation of solar panels, for rooftop solar panels, utility grade solar panels, and the like. There's a lot of those different types of training programs.
In front of our camera,
But it was cool.
Yeah.
And so, so those are the types of programs. There's a new program also for energy efficiency.
You see the camera behind you? Sir, I'm sorry. I have a camera. Oh, that's okay. No, that's okay. I just wanted to. He didn't stand for it. So training programs. So in other words, like if you were starting a solar business in your area, then there's training programs to train your employees. Is that
precisely?
What it is?
Yeah. So that's what they're able to do. They're developing their own individual workforce to be able to create that. So.
Right. And then so funding available to train your employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrific. And people living in the area, then, do they know about those training programs? Or they?
Yes. Yeah. They're well promoted.
That's terrific. So many people don't know about it all the time. I hope I didn't stop you from getting business from that guy.
I'll find them.
You'll track them down. That's your job.
So if you look at us being as the middle person between you, the individual looking to set up shop in our region, or looking at the opportunity for investing in our area, use our offices as the middle person to get connected with the community, to get through those processes that is a necessity to get from point A to point B.
Do I have to be a person bringing in 100 jobs or 500 jobs, or you?
No, you can bring a person with 5 jobs,
really?
or 500 jobs.
I see.
And we'll point you in the right direction.
Really, that's wonderful. Or how about if you're living in the area and you're just an entrepreneur at this time? Is this a place to go, or would it be another office that would help?
No. Go ahead.
My office is really a lot. I do a lot of that as well because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and job creation. I work alongside with the small business development centers that are there.
Stuff,
and so to be able to then introduce them to that, and also be able to work with the local chambers of commerce, and to be also be able to promote the different opportunities they have. So.
Well, it's great. It's great you guys are here.
Well,
thank you so much. Are they great? Well, how'd you like to get a job making like $50,000 to $90,000 a year with no college training at all? Actually, these are apprenticeship programs, and there's like 250 different apprenticeship programs all over the country, where you get paid to learn, and you get good jobs, good benefits. I mean, this is like retirement benefits too. I mean, who ever heard of that anymore? Yep. And these kind of skills that we all still need in this country, people are going to colleges and get all this kind of student debt and a job that even won't pay for their debt. And here you could train for a job that pays good money. You get paid while you're learning. So really you're on the job, and you take like 3 hours a week classes or instructions, as your apprentice, but you're getting a good full-time job while you're learning too. And then the salaries go up to like say $50,000, $80,000, $90,000, to do this. And it's everything from funeral directors, elevator installers and repairs, stonemasons, or iron workers. Now here's an interview of the fellow who runs the iron workers program for apprentices. And it's wonderful. He tells you how, like, you could even be 40, 50 years old, and still get into these programs. It doesn't matter how old you are for these things. You don't have to be a kid out of high school, but it's options, that you have in life, and good career options that people are not glorifying anymore, but they're legitimate. They're fun. You're doing real work, not this paper pushing in an office. Who knows what kind of sore backs you get from doing that. So that's why there's something to consider. And the ironworking guy, if you go to ironworkers.org, you'll see a listing there of, you could call your local union there, and they'll tell you about the apprenticeship program and how to get involved in that. Now, all the programs, that are apprenticeship programs around the country, a good place to find out is your Career One Stop. That's careeronestop.org. You go there, you find your local office and talk to them, and they'll tell you about locally what apprenticeship programs are available. Where you get paid while you're learning a career with a good salary, good benefits. I mean, that's right, benefits. See, most jobs don't have benefits anymore. So if you're looking for benefits, this is a great option to find out. So watch this interview and think about that as a career choice at any age, and no college debt. So watch. Okay, and your name?
Harvey Swift.
Harvey Swift. And where are we? Who are you with here?
I'm with the Ironworkers, and I'm specifically I'm assigned to our labor management department. It's called IMPACT. That stands for the Ironworker Management Progressive Action Cooperative Trust.
Wow, you belong in Washington with that guy.
Absolutely, and we are in Washington, D.C.
And so basically, you're involved in training?
I am involved in training, the development of new training materials and curriculum. For
ironworkers.
For ironworkers, right. Yes.
And is it to help ironworkers progress in their career, or start their careers, or what?
Yes, it is. Actually, it is for both. To be started in their apprenticeship program, we develop the training curriculum and materials for the apprenticeship training. And we also develop career ladder training, like our foreman training and superintendent training, that emphasizes that ironworking is not just a job, it's not a construction job, it's a career path.
Now, what is an ironworker? I mean, to the layman out there, I know you've worked in ironworking, and he's a Marine too.
An ironworker, and I'll try to put it as simply as I can, but cover all aspects of the trade, because ironworking is a very diverse trade. Ironworkers erect the structural steel in buildings. They also place and tie and handle and unload the reinforcing steel in concrete buildings.
Spaghetti stuff?
Absolutely,
Yeah, right.
absolutely. Ironworkers also install curtain wall and window wall systems on buildings.
What does that mean?
Basically the windows and glass facades of the buildings.
I see. So not the windows themselves, then?
Absolutely, the windows.
That's called iron, huh?
Yeah, it's part of ironworking.
I see.
Yes.
Why? Because it's dangerous? Or?
Because a lot of the skills are transferable skills.
I see.
We deal with cranes and heavy rigging, lots of welding, bolting applications. All of these skills are transferable. And ironworkers also do ornamental work as well.
Wow.
Gates, entryways, doorways, canopies. Lots of different things involved in ironworking.
Well, it sounds like we talk about jobs going overseas, but looks like these jobs can't go overseas too well, either, can they?
I would think not. I would think that the actual boots on the ground, the hands-on skills and trades that the ironworkers do, the things that they do for a living, I wouldn't think those could be exported.
How are you going to build a building in India if you have it here? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So it looks like a growth industry as long as this country keeps growing, right?
Yes.
And actually, if it doesn't keep growing, we really got to rebuild a lot of these buildings.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're really in a growth profession, it seems. One of the few that I've seen around nowadays.
One would hope, and as long as the market can sustain growth, we'll be here.
But there's no like IT. You could see it possibly going overseas. Healthcare, maybe not overseas. Maybe education. How are we going to go overseas with that? And putting up stuff doesn't sound like things we could, subcontract to India or Asia or something like that, huh? So that's
I would hope not.
Yeah, right. You never know.
You never know.
Got to keep on our toes. Well, now, if you're interested in being an iron worker, because I guess the pay is real good. I mean, for a skill like this.
It's a living, yes, sir. Most places in the country, iron workers make a respectable living, and we have fringe benefits as well as just money on a check.
But it's not like I'm sure it's better than McDonald's or being a barista at Starbucks.
Absolutely,
something like
absolutely.
That. Yeah,
it's a respectable living.
Right. So it sounds like a nice living. Now, how does one get involved in something? Becoming an iron worker.
You could go to your local apprenticeship and training program and sign up for the program there.
Now, and what does that mean? I mean, there are tests. I mean, is it like going to school? I got to take an entrance exam or have grades or scores?
All of those things. An apprenticeship program, and all of our apprenticeship programs are registered with the Department of Labor. They're bona fide apprenticeship programs. They're not shams. Our apprenticeship programs vary from 3 to 4 year programs, and a young man or a young woman would come in and fill out an application.
Right.
And some places have entrance exams. Some don't. Some are just placed on a list to be called in the order that they applied.
Wow.
They would start school, and it's an earn while you learn. It's a formal apprenticeship, which means the students or the young iron workers to be would go to school either, depending on the location, how it's set up in that city, would go to school of an evening or on the weekend or for 1 week, and then the rest of that time that they spend in that program, the 3 or 4 years, is spent working on the job with skilled iron workers and applying the knowledge and skills that they learn in class.
So you're saying school could only be a week long, and then they're really on the job working.
Absolutely, and I don't mean a week long for the entire 3 or 4 years. It would be a week for, say, a quarter, or 2 weeks every 6 months. They would come in and take the tests and get the knowledge and skill assessments done at the school, and then go out and apply the things that they had learned.
And so that's really like a paying job, the apprenticeship program. So you're paid to learn the skill, and it takes a few years to become like a certified
journeyman iron worker.
Iron worker. And then at that time, you go anywhere with that skill.
Absolutely. You can work anywhere in the U.S. and even parts of Canada are being opened up as we speak.
And so this is a national certification?
It would be international.
International, I see. So if you get into an apprentice program, so in other words, a young person coming out of school or coming back from the military or something and looking for a career, you know, instead of going to the junior college, this could be an option to learn a skill and a trade.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you could earn while you're learning instead of a very good thing that you brought up was a junior college. A person could go to college and incur a lot of debt while they're at college and then get out with maybe no prospect of a job. An apprenticeship program is just the opposite.
You got a job.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, it's funny. I mean, maybe I'm just a yuppie here in Washington and not tuned into these kinds of things. I've always heard about apprenticeship programs and everything, but now because people get out of college and having no place to go,
yes.
You know, that apprenticeship sounds like an interesting alternative for people.
It is. It's a great alternative, and it's one of the best kept secrets out there, I think. Now, does that mean that there's always work for everybody that wants it? Absolutely not. The construction industry has its ups and downs like any other, and we have places in the country right now that are bearing burdens of high unemployment. And consequently, our apprenticeship programs have slowed entry because of that. But it's always an option, and it's a not very often thought of option outside of the construction industry.
So if you were checking out the local ironworkers apprentice program and they said, well, you know, things are slow, it's not good time. So it behooves you, if you're really interested, to come back later and keep checking, I would assume. That
absolutely.
The market changes, as you say, for
does.
something like this. And is it a long career in ironworker? I mean, is it like FBI where they make you retire at 55 because you're doing dangerous work or something like that? Or as a 66 or 7, something like that old guy, I've seen that's the kind of questions I'm interested in.
Ironworking can be a career that will last your entire life. We have members that have been ironworkers for 50, 60, 70 years even.
So you can work in your 60s or 70s and still work.
And actually an individual that's looking for this training in particular should contact their workforce investment board locally, because we were required to partner with those local entities as well to try and bring in as many people and retrain people as possible.
And that's the one-stop centers and local investment boards, and they're all over. And we'll put on the page with you that, you know, how to find your local one for. And is there a information clearinghouse for you guys too, to find out the local chapter or local affiliate? You must have it. There's something. No, maybe so. Well, on your website for
there may very well be on the website. I haven't specifically looked for that information, but it's possible.
You don't need a job.
Ironworkers.org.
Right. Ironworkers.org.
Yes.
Okay, I'll put that in. Well, that's wonderful. So you're training into the green economy too, and you see steel workers are really the wind turbines.
Ironworkers.
Ironworkers too. What is the difference between iron and steel?
Actually, iron is used to make steel.
I see.
Iron is one of the components of steel, but we are iron workers because we predate the use of steel in erecting structures. The first bridges were iron, or cast iron.
So now they're steel.
And now they're steel, but we are iron workers, and
so any form of iron.
Any form.
Whether it's steel or anything
even
else.
Glass, as you mentioned earlier.
Even glass. Well, this is great. Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
What a great opportunity. Now here's two clever guys who started college just a few years ago, and while they were in college, they were using the dorm kitchen to bake up some, actually they're like coffee bars, they call them. Instead of drinking coffee in the morning, here's a coffee bar, you know, to make coffee, just eat this chocolate, coffee bar, no chocolate, low calorie, and now, instead of having a bunch of student loans, they got $50,000, part of it from the school. See, I mean, colleges now want to, encourage entrepreneurs, so they have grant programs. Hey, you got a good idea, and they have money, to help that little business of yours. Man, boy, and then they went on the internet and they got $40,000 more, and they're still taking classes. Man, I would think, I hated school so much when I was in it, but any excuse like this, I would be out of there and just making more money. But they're committed, it seems, to finishing their degree while they're starting this career. So now they don't have to worry about what job they're going to get, because in their dorm room, they created a business. No way this could have happened years ago. But it's happening now, and you can do that. I mean, imagine $50,000 out of your dorm room, and getting $10,000 of that from the college itself because they're encouraging entrepreneurs. That's what's happening in our country. Everybody has to be encouraged, to create jobs, to create new ideas, and to do something in life, Otherwise, man, life's going to pass you by and it's going to be over, and then what the hell are you going to do? Well, we really don't know, do we? So while we're here, we must bite off as much as we can. So watch how these two guys are doing it. Well, Ali Qatari! I think we're doing this for the second time, aren't we? So we're going to hear the same tacky jokes again, because I forgot to turn on the machine or whatever that is. But actually, your website is New Grounds Food, NEWGROUNDS Food. And you and your buddy in college, you're just juniors in college, you're screwing around the kitchen at the dorm and made something that you could make a coffee bar where you could eat your coffee, right? And now you have this big business. You raised, what is it, almost $40,000 already? You're probably going to quit school and say, screw, I'm not going to do exams anymore. I'm just going to count my money and go to the bank. So how'd you get into doing this thing?
Yeah, it all started back in our freshman year here at Northeastern. My business partner and I, we were constantly running late to our morning classes and never had the time to eat our breakfast or drink our coffee. So we thought, well, why can't we eat our coffee? And it was kind of a little joke at first, and we were like, wait, hold on. Maybe we could do this. And we tried it, and we created the coffee bar.
And then you were telling me that the school you're at, Northeastern University, they have a little entrepreneur program where they give out little, incentive money, and they give you guys $500 to help with your cooking process in the dorm, right?
Yeah, we entered in a startup challenge, and we ended up winning audience favorite. We won $500. Went to this local supermarket, got some more ingredients, cooked up a few more batches, and kind of been going ever since.
Wow! And then you mentioned you got another award from the school because your business idea looks so good, right? Yeah, the $10,000.
Yeah, we got $10,000. That's right, from our from IDEA. It's Northeastern University's Venture Accelerator program, and they gave us.
So you're going to a university that they see you're so smart. Instead of you paying them money, they're paying you money.
Something like that.
I mean, what a great way to go to school. College is too expensive anyway. So you figured out a way around it. But I can't get over how you're going to stick out another year of taking classes when you're not sure how good it's going to be because you're making too much money. You think you're going to stick it out?
Yeah, definitely. I value my education very much, and I'm definitely able to learn a lot of the stuff in the classrooms and apply it to my business. So I'm definitely going to stick it out here at Northeastern.
Well, good for you. I mean, that's terrific. But your product, I mean, it seems that, I don't know, because of your age or whatever, you seem more socially involved, with your product. I mean, it's not just a get-rich-quick scheme or something like that. It really is a product that helps people. I mean, it's low in calorie. You have almost no sugar in this thing,
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. We wanted to create a product that could help others, kind of go throughout their day, and they didn't need to sacrifice nutrition to get the energy to keep them going, So we want to create a product that could help everyone else.
And it doesn't have much more calories than a latte. I mean, if I go and get a latte, and that's what I think, if I'm getting all my caffeine in a cavity bar, I'm getting more calories, but it's not. It's only like 250 calories, no sugar, so it's healthier than the latte because you're getting other nutrients, in addition to the caffeine. You think?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a healthier option for sure. We got only, 220 calories, got less than 10 grams of sugar. The alternatives on the market, forget the Red Bull, forget the Monster, start eating your coffee.
Yeah, that's like drinking, lighter fluid or something, some of that stuff. It's dreadful. But now what's important, though, too, people could get it now on Kickstarter, and that's the way. But if you go to newgroundsfood.com, you could link to Kickstarter, get it before the program's over because it's a deal, right? I mean, Once your Kickstarter campaign, you're going to have to pay full retail, right?
Yeah, so get on it now.
Yeah, and that's the way. And it looks delightful, and you guys are delightful. And at least to me, I think people should go at least look at that video, because the way you did it, I mean, to make $40,000 already, you'll probably make $60,000 before you're finished. That with a video that's just so authentic. Most people now, when they do these Kickstarters or whatever, think they have to have, you know, Hollywood to produce their video for them. But if you're authentic and natural and honest and sincere like you guys are, I mean, to me that works even better, you know, than having Hollywood. And your buddy Johnny, who's your partner, is from Hollywood, right? So
yeah. He's from the LA area.
Yeah, so that's it. Well, Lee, you're wonderful delight, and Johnny must be the same if you guys hanging around together. Nice that you're doing something of value and you think it's important, and it's there to help other people too. And people should know about you, and they go to Newgrounds, Grounds, food.com. That's where to find Johnny and Ellie. They're there hanging out.
Keep on exploring. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you, Ellie. Bye now. Now, did you ever have, you know, those days where you're saying, hey, I do this every day, and I got this piece of junk that I do it with. It doesn't really work, you know, and I keep using it because I know of no other option. Yeah, and you sort of think to yourself, why doesn't someone make something better than that? You know, and you keep looking and it's never there. And then you say, God, I'm gonna do it. And this is what this guy did. You know, actually, he's a contractor. He finishes, you know, bathrooms and kitchens for people, and you can see the soap dishes. I don't know about you, I'm the same way. A soap dish, man. There's always that soap is disappearing, and that mush that gathers in those nice soap dishes I buy, or you buy one of those soap saver dishes, you know, that drain, and they're ugly as hell. You know, so why doesn't someone make a decent soap dish? This is the thing that's going through his head, and so he goes out and does it. You know, and he does it himself. See, any kind of product like that you can think of, you don't need a big corporation. You don't need inventors or people with PhDs to help you. You figure it out all yourself, and that's what he did. With very little money, he was able to put together this great idea of a soap dish. Who would think that, you know, the world is, you know, needs a new soap dish? But it did, and he saw it. See, we're all in places like that where we could see things that are needed, and nobody else does, because we go on with our day and think, oh, other things are important. I got to pick up the kids at school. I got to do that or whatever. But boy, in something you're doing every day, there's something that's very important to do, you know, that should be improved. And now you can make that improvement because you have the internet to get money to do it. You have access to the best experts in the world to help you design it or do it or whatever you need. That any stumbling block in the way that you thought that you gave as an excuse why you can't do this thing, now you can. People are doing it, like this next guy I interview. Man, he just goes out and does it. You know, it doesn't take a big boatload of money or expertise or background and knowledge or sitting in classrooms to get a PhD. No, you just use your computer and go and do it. So watch how he did it and started a whole new career. You know, because he didn't want to be making bathrooms forever. So now he's got a business selling products, and he got the money on the internet to do it. So watch how he did it. Well, Keith Barclay, and it's Crevere.com, and you're the guy who's going to save all those sloppy soap dishes we have in the kitchen and the shower and everything. Man, it's just an incredible idea. I mean, I'm just was sort of like cleaning my shower stall last week, and I'm looking where we put the soap, you know how it gets all mushy and all that junk there, and you know, we spent all this money on a nice shower, and the soap just looks like hell.
That's exactly right. And you know, soap seed is perfect for the shower because it keeps your soap from sitting in that pool of slime, and your soap will last a lot longer, and the soap dish will look nice, so you don't have this ugly soap saver sitting there that still gets nasty. So yeah, that's why I decided to come up with a really good soap dish that really worked. I mean, nobody likes to pick up a nasty bar soap.
And you're right, but it's something I would have never thought of. You know, but my God, I know it's something that wouldn't. But now that I see this, and what I love about it is that the whole container reflects the porcelain or whatever, the tiles in my shower curtain, so it looks like custom made, just for me. I got a $20 thing that looked custom made by some artist. Yeah.
That was really one of the big things that I wanted to accomplish, was a soap dish that was high in design. So I really wanted it to look really nice. What we accidentally kind of came up upon was the reflective surface really took on the entire base of the soap dish, made it look exactly like whatever was sitting on. So it really, and along with the colors of the trays that we made, it just makes it look so custom that we decided just to offer that one color for now, because it's really the best color. It's a polished nickel that just takes on the look of whatever it's sitting on. So yeah.
So it looks like, to me when I first saw it, it looks like, something as elegant like an iPad or something. You know how elegant those things are? So this is like an iPad for your soap in the shower, something very elegant that no one would think of spending that kind of money. And it's really not expensive. This is like $20-$30 or something for this thing. And
right, I'm glad you noticed that, because that was the biggest thing, was trying to get that look. The hardest, when you go to the store and you look at soap savers and soap dishes, are two different things. The soap savers are ugly, but they might protect your soap from melting so fast. And the soap dishes are beautiful, but your soap is going to melt. So to try and blend the two, the high design and the superior function, that was the hardest thing. So when this was done and it was created, the look of it, to me, again, it's a really nice, solid, organic look to it. That and it works better than any soap saver that's out there now. So yeah.
But it looks elegant. Organic to me, I think of some Earth Mama kind of stuff. But this
I
is
guess in 3D modeling, the organic is
right,
the mold
exactly,
around it.
right.
Yeah.
And this looks, elegant. I never thought a soap dish could look elegant, and it does. So you have a piece of equipment that people will talk about when they come into your shower, or actually, it's for your kitchen or anywhere, your bathroom.
So wherever you use bar soap, people use it in their tub. So where do you put your soap in your tub? If you have a clawfoot tub, right? A lot of my customers will have in the construction industry, have a freestanding tub. There's nowhere to put your soap unless you get these wire baskets that end up rusting. This will actually adjust. There's back legs on it that adjust, that will sit on that rounded edge of the tub. A soaking tub, a lot of people have the soaking tubs that are built into a deck. This sits on the edge without sliding on.
No, you got to see the video. You have is beautiful, and it shows all that. The lady in the bathtub and everything, so you can see. God, so there's little legs on the back you can adjust, and it fits on any tub. Yeah.
We had to make sure, if we were making the perfect soap dish, that it could fit at your sink, at your shower, or your tub. We wanted to make sure that you don't buy it and say, "Oh, I can't use it." So a draining soap dish needs to fit just about anywhere.
And you're the guy to do this, because you've been helping fat cats put in bathrooms and kitchens for most of your life, right?
That's right. So for over 20 years, I've been a builder remodeler, and you see the issues that everybody has.
It's funny,
including myself. So.
Yeah, then you said you really did this because this was a problem that you hated in your own house.
That's right. I wasn't one to like the liquid soap. Washing my hands and face with liquid soap. Especially in construction, you have dirty hands, whatever, and you really want a bar soap. So, naturally, I started thinking, what can I do to make this better? And this is what I came up with.
But actually, you're starting a little mini soap industry too. You have another product on your website, the soap tainer, which is a big container, right? That you put when you have one of those squishy things that we have in our kitchen here.
Right. So a lot of people have built-in soap dispensers in their kitchen. There's a tiny, tiny little bottle underneath it. That needs to be filled every couple of weeks. Right. And then when you fill it, it overfills and makes a mess on your countertop. Then you put the pump back in, right? And it overflows some more. So you waste a ton of soap. And you're doing it every couple of weeks. So the soap tainer is a space-saving container that actually holds a gallon of liquid soap.
A gallon? But it looks so thin.
It's 2 inches wide.
Yeah, it's elegant again. I don't know why something nobody's going to see, but it looks elegant anyway.
Well, what's great about it is it's only 2 inches wide. It uses the height and the depth of your cabinet to get the gallon capacity.
And you get a gallon in that sucker, huh?
Gallon. So you buy a $9 gallon of soap instead of all these little, refills, and you're saving money. You can go for 6 months to a year between refills.
Wow.
Plus, refilling is easy. It tilts out. And you can just dump that whole gallon in without a funnel. I see. And you can always see the level of your soap. So when you open your cabinet and you look, you can just see the level of the soap, and you'll just never run out because you'll refill it before it runs out.
That's right. Otherwise, you can't see when that thing is unless you go, nothing coming out, and you're banging the hell out of that thing. Right.
Yeah, right when you need the soap, it's run out.
Right.
So,
But I mean, what to me is neat is a problem like that. It's an issue, but I never think about it or whatever. And here, you spending a lot of time thinking the best way to do this. For the rest of us. I mean, that's what's so nice about having you in our lives to think about this stuff. Because I'll just bitch about the soap.
Well, it took me 20 years probably because I thought of it when I first, got my own house and my own soap dispenser, and I was waiting for someone to come out with it, and nobody ever did. So, hey,
do it yourself, right? It's American way. And actually, you're thinking about maybe starting another line of business for yourself too with these kind of products. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you start thinking about products and and ideas and things that you can create, I ended up just having a whole list of things.
Yeah.
So because of that, I knew that I wanted to keep creating products. So I figured I would start a brand and, slowly build products under the brand. And it's not the easy way to start, but it's something.
It's a way, and then something like your crowdfunding on Kickstarter. I mean I mean, you said you did your own video, even. I mean,
I did my own video. Yes. So I've always been kind of a creative person, so I guess that kind of falls into it. Along with product development and remodeling and construction. It's all like you got to use creativity.
So it's pouring out your heart, not only in someone's new bathroom, but now in a soap dish. And when you see this soap dish, people haven't seen this. I mean, it's like 2-3 pieces to it. It's elegant. You put, the squishy part in the dishwasher, to wash it. You don't have to worry about it. And
right. So yeah, if I'm gonna make something I strive for perfection. So I wanted to make sure every base was cut. I mean, you think a soap dish that has to hold the soap, but no, you want it to be easy to clean.
Yeah.
You want it to, actually not cause rust stains on your countertop. You want it to, so, you can just remove the top tray, throw it in the dishwasher, and you have a spare tray, put it in. You never have to clean your soap dish again. The soap stays fine, So
that's terrific.
Start thinking of all these things and try and incorporate it.
Well, I'm so glad you are, because I would just bitch for the rest of my life. So now you solve the problem for the rest of us, and to find out, and actually you're on Kickstarter now, so get it now, because it's going to probably be more once you're off the campaign.
Yeah, we're giving a really good deal to Kickstarter backers. That's the way you do it to get the funding goal. So you want to give backers a really good deal, and that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, we have 10 days to go, and
yeah, well, get there, and you can always get there and find the product later, or the other the soap tainer at Crevere.com. Crevere, Krevare.com. Now, I went to college, but I flunked English, so I spell for everybody because I would.
Yeah, it's a unique name. And it's a combination of a few things.
Yeah, but it's sort of like Revere. I mean, aren't there other kitchen kind of things in Revereware? So Crevere.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see, right, exactly. Well, wonderful, Keith. Nice to talk to you, and that's Crevare, Krevare.com.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Say goodbye to your wife back there. She's very quiet.
You too.
Take care.
Well, I bet you never thought looking at your library to get money to start a business. Well, you can. How about $15,000? That's right, for the local public library to start a business. This next interview is a guy who's going to apply for this because he also got money from the internet for his business. So he's going to go to the public library and get money for his business. And
has a full-time job too. So he's an accountant, a full-time accountant. That sort of loves to be a cook. And he's fermenting food and pickles and all this kind of cabbage and all this kind of stuff. He loves hanging out in the kitchen and inventing stuff. So he's going on the internet, and in his library, the library also gave him a course on how to prepare a business plan. Okay, that's free. That's at the library. Then they have money to the best business plan. And he said, like 9 out of 60 people get money. 9 out of 60 people. What's that? Like 15, 20% of the people. Man, that's better than applying for a grant. How many people get it? So, God, I mean, the odds are incredible. And what you learn, and what they're free. And actually, he said that his business library was so helpful for him in finding out about how to do the business. In addition to writing the business plan, doing research. I mean, that's what we forget. I mean, I was very popular about libraries when I first started this business 20, 30 years ago. And because I wrote reference books, so libraries like me. And I always thought there was nothing, what's more important building in the community than our library? It turns out, I don't know, it's the bar is more important now. But no, information is what about. And a lot of libraries are even adding 3D printers, so you could go there and make things on 3D printers at the local public library. So it's an important resource, and it's free, and these people know sources of information. Why come to me if I charge you when you could go to the public library and the reference librarian probably knows a website or a source or whatever, or even a government program that could help you. A lot of these people know all these things because they get asked. They have to know these things. So watch this interview and start learning that old school public library is turning into a hip place, and it's giving out money to start a business. So watch this interview. Well, Nicholas Stevens, man, I mean, you're the only accountant I know who probably knows more about cabbage than you do balance sheets, right? But you invented this thing for all of us now to ferment our own vegetables and stuff that we want in our kitchen, right? For under $50, we don't have to.
$48.
$48, right? That's right. So you're doing this part-time because you're a full-time accountant. That's terrific. Yeah. So what got you interested in food besides your stomach?
I'm that guy that likes to make everything. So I made mozzarella from scratch. I've made chutneys. I made pickles. I made sauerkraut. I made vinegar. I made meat. I don't know if you've ever had that.
You made meat? You mean like it grew a cow or what?
No, MEAD. So it's like
MEAD.
Made out of honey. I made beer. Like I like playing in my kitchen. Some people are like these great chefs where they make these delicious foods. I think of myself as like, this is my laboratory, and I like doing scientific experiments. Not everything tastes great, but I really like the process.
I see. You're the mad scientist, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, this it looks like an elegant vase that you have.
So my goal is that it would do something, but if you wind up not using it, I still want you to like looking at it.
I see. Right. It's a beautiful cookie jar. If nothing else.
Or a vase. But also something, I know this is ambitious, but it's very strong. It's porcelain. If you take good care of it, in 100 years, I want it still to look good in someone's house.
Wow. We may all live to 100 nowadays too. I mean, if we eat well, right?
You're going to pass down the recipes. It would be pass down the fermentium too.
Wow, this is Grandma's fermenting.
Yes,
what
that's what I want to make.
Yeah, wonderful. So maybe what you have to do eventually is get these autographed by you put Grandma on it, everybody's name, and I guess with. But how do you make these? I mean, you don't you can't do 3D printer on this, can you yet?
No. Well, it's actually pretty big to get printed, and for the prototype, I was looking into that, but it's going to be made in China in Shenzhen. I've been really trying to work with someone in the United States, but my order size is very low, so they're not. I either don't get phone calls back or I get.
Right. Well, each one will be $17,000.
Yeah. And to start production is really complicated because I have to set up the molds, and it's not. I don't think they're doing it to be mean.
So you were telling me beforehand that you have a friend who was in design school who went
Yes.
back to get a degree, and he helped you design this thing because it is
Yes.
gorgeous. I
Yes.
mean, it looks like there's little handles on it, but they're artistic. They're not handles. They're just little ridges and things.
No,
like
and I wish I could show you what I drew. And so it's funny. So I wanted it to be functional. He wanted it to look good, and so we kind of went back and forth because what I drew was not that pretty.
Just a pot or a pail.
Yeah.
But you have all the tools necessary to keep the stuff underwater. I don't understand fermentation, but when you get the product, you'll understand that, right?
Yeah, when you get the product, all you have to add is salt and vegetables.
Wow, salt and vegetables and water, right?
It depends on the vegetable. Some
No
vegetables have
kidding.
more water in them.
I
The only
see.
thing that would make it kind of take more time that you really have to pay attention to is there chlorine in your water? Because if there's chlorine in your water, it'll kill the process. So to get it out, you could just boil the water.
Oh,
and
so that's
add it
easy.
when it's cold. You have to make sure it's cold. You don't want to boil
Oh,
it.
I see. So how long does fermentation take? I mean, like a week, a month, or
3 days to 3 weeks, depending
no kidding.
on the temperature. And I actually kind of take it out earlier because I like temperature tasting things.
I mean, the
like really
taste is heightened if it's earlier, or what? It gets soggy later, or what?
Oh no, it just gets strong. Like, there's a really strong, kind of pickle taste, and there's a one that tastes kind of like a cucumber with like a little bit of a kick to it.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a great thing for kids to do too.
Of course. And there's I don't know what age it is, but I think there's an age where every single kid, maybe around 12, they'll want to eat a whole jar of pickles every day.
Right.
So
And then again when they're 25 and pregnant. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, but to see that process, I mean, to do something like that and put it, it's like Mr. Wizard making something, that you can eat.
It's just for things to think about, especially with kids. It's interesting to show people how you could preserve food without electricity. So this is what you did in the fall when you had too many vegetables in your garden and you wanted to be able to eat all winter. So it's kind of neat to show people if we, if the power went out, what would we do?
And that happens more and more nowadays. I don't know. We're turning into a third world country. I know. I live in a fancy suburb here in Washington D.C. and we'll lose power once or twice a year for a couple of days sometimes. Yeah. So if I fermented all this great cabbage and everything else I want to save, I'd be a lot happier than throwing away everything in the kitchen, right?
Exactly.
Or the refrigerator. Wow.
You're all set.
Yeah.
You can throw a party.
And when are you? You're on Kickstarter now, and so it's wise, if you're interested to get one now while you're on the Kickstarter because it'll be cheaper once Kickstarter's over, right? And they may have to pay more.
I'm hoping to do it at that same price. I'm not.
Well, that's nice.
I'm not sure if I can. I'm basically paying what would be the wholesale price.
I see.
So I can't wholesale it to other people.
Right.
I think the price break that I would get from the factory is at 9,800 units, which is a full shipping container.
Well, people better go to the website now, man. You got to sell 10,000 of these things.
But I want it to be cheap because I want people to do it. I want people to try it. I think it's good for people.
And well, I mean, I think there's so many issues here. I mean, you learn about food preservation and saving, and particularly it encourages you to have a backyard garden because now you could do more with the food and keep.
Everybody needs to experience growing something. If you haven't,
we can't grow our jobs anymore, so we might as well grow our food. So, I mean, can a kid do this themselves, or does a parent have to do it, or eventually they could do it? How would that work for a kid?
It would come down to knife safety with children.
Okay. So after it's cut, they could do the rest. It depends on how good they are.
It's something you could do alongside a kid, but especially, which I don't even know if adults should use all the time, but do you know what a mandolin is for slicing vegetables?
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's not for kids.
I see. Right.
Those things are pretty sharp.
But also, this is a wonderful gift. I mean, for $48, I mean, you got this thing for somebody. I mean, it looks like you got something from an art shop or something like that.
Well, and I I don't want to put them out of business, but I think this is better than a fondue pot. So if somebody's getting
absolutely, because you could use a fondue pot you stick around away somewhere. Here now you could use it for cookies. Hey, well that would take the cookies out and we'll ferment something. Yeah.
Put peonies in it. Make it a base.
Yeah, right, exactly. Everything. No, it's a beautiful work of art. And I'm sure the next batch you're going to have 5 different colors or something like this.
Yes, the next is going to be green. That's my favorite color. I want it to be bright green.
To go with vegetables.
Just like the color.
Yeah, likewise. Actually, my wife lives next to him. She's big on green. I'm big on yellow. Yeah, I'm a little louder.
Well, yellow we could do. Actually, one of my dreams too is to do it there's American yellowware, which is a type of pottery that's indigenous to this country that hasn't been produced in a while. Well, they make some of it, but I'd love to do something kind of referencing our
heritage.
Our heritage.
our plate heritage or cutlery heritage or whatever. Yeah.
It's yellowware. It's the clay that comes out of the earth is this kind of nice.
I see. And is it bright yellow or is it just
No, it's a muted yellow. It might not be bright enough for you.
I see, right, exactly. Well, if it's not cartoon, then it's that's not for me.
So
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to be asking me about how I got government money.
Oh, I see. Well, you got free money on the internet. Did you get government money too?
No, I didn't.
Okay, right, see. But no, I mean, that's why, to me, it's, so you're a guy who had this idea, and now you're able to finance it by going on the internet, and that's just terrific.
And the other thing I'm doing, so fingers crossed, is anybody that's out there that's starting a project, 100%, if your city has a business library, really just go there and talk to that librarian about what you're doing, and they're going to have so many ideas for you. And if you don't have a business library, drive to one, because there's one in Brooklyn, there's one in New York City.
Yeah.
And
the Brooklyn one is terrific. Yeah.
You know, I was out of work for a little while, and I had this job that was coming up, and I was going to be doing consulting, and I didn't know anything about consulting. And I was like, I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on books right now for a job I might not get.
Right.
So that's when I just kind of started to realize how good this library was.
Good for you. No, I believe in libraries. They're still terrific. And now they're starting to be maker places. They're getting 3D printers and all this kind of stuff to use. Yeah, that's great.
And so my local one, they have a business plan competition.
Oh, they do? Wonderful.
So they make you take all these classes, which are pretty easy, actually.
Yeah.
So you take about 4 classes on how to do your business plan. You write it up and you submit it. And so there's 9 prizes this year for it. The top one is $15,000.
Wow.
And I just found out that only 90 people entered it, and of those, only 63 of those people, their business plans were complete. So I think mine's complete.
Wow.
So
you got a chance at 15 grand now, huh?
Yeah, so 9 out of 63 is pretty good. So at least I'll get,
honorable mention.
And so the next, but so I would imagine, like any grant, that's probably what your odds are. You're
yes. No, that's terrific. No, I'm going to mention that. I'm going to do another separate video on that.
If I win, I might not get it, and then it'll be
right. No, that's terrific stuff, though. I mean, it's just the process. You go to your local library to get $15,000 for your business plan. Holy crap!
Absolutely. And you get to be in that room full of people that you're like, oh, these are the people like me. Like they all have this idea that it just exists on paper, but they really hope is going to turn into something that's going to change the way they.
And so you're getting free help there versus going and looking on Google and getting some consultants going to charge you thousands of dollars or whatever.
And it's kind of funny, but again, I think this is probably what your business is about. But if you close your eyes and imagine like what you wish was out there, it's probably out there. It's hard to find it, but it's probably out there.
Yeah.
And the place you find it, the business library, they know so much.
Yeah, they do. Well, that's sweet of you, because I believe in that, and I've been trying to promote libraries. I went a couple of years back and even worked in one for a summer. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And actually, they put me on the cover of Library Magazine one year or something like that. But I enjoy it. Yeah, well, Nicholas, it's great.
Sexiest librarians of the year.
Well, they are pretty good, yeah. But Fermentium, FERMENTIUM.com, right? That's where to do it. And You're there now, you'll be there tomorrow, and you'll be there for a long time because you love what you're doing, and I'm glad you're doing it, and I'm glad you're there. Thank you, Nicholas. Best of wishes.
Thank you. You too.